Thanks so much for tuning in and joining me for this viewer requested video, which is actually going to be the first of a few videos in a series, because the topic that I'm going to be sharing in this series is about the decks that make up my Kipper card collection. So this is in response to an email that I got from a viewer named GL, who hit me up and asked me if I would be willing to talk about or share or walk through those decks. So I thought, that's an easy thing to do. I can handle that. So first up is actually the very first deck that I ever got that put me on the path to reading Kipper. And that is the Mystical Kipper. It is by Regula Elizabeth Fiechter. The artwork is by Urban Trösch. And it's published by AGM. So now that I've set things up, let's get to the table and take a closer look at the Mystical Kipper. And here we are with the cards on the table, and this is the Mystical Kipper. It is by Regula Elizabeth Fiechter. The artwork is by Urban Trösch, and it is published by AGM. And this is the very first Kipper deck I ever got. So this is the deck that has a special place in my Kipper journey and history because it's the first one. So I thought this would be a great place to start in this video series where I'm sharing about the decks in my Kipper collection. So on the left we have the box. So this is what the box looks like. Here's the sides. The back. It's just a tuck box. So that is the box. And so now we'll go ahead and start looking through the cards. Now the first thing that I will say, for those people who may be looking for a more traditional Kipper deck, this is not that. So if you are a fan of the Mystical Lenormand by the same duo, you will probably like this. But if you are wanting to learn the traditions of Kipper in terms of directional cues and things of that nature, this deck may not be the one that you want to start with. So I did not know anything about, directional cues when I first started with Kipper. And so I just went with the very first one that I found, and this was it. And because I had the Mystical Lenormand in my collection, I thought, okay, it would make a nice kind of complementary set. So that's the reason why I got it. But if you are looking for a more traditional deck, like I've already said, this may be the one you want to kind of pass on as your first deck and come back to it at a later point in time. Okay, so having said that, I'm going to just go through the cards. If you are no stranger to Kipper, there's really not much to say in terms of commentary. So it's just going to be me flipping through the cards, and maybe if I feel inclined to offer a thought or a perspective about a particular card as it comes up, I will do so. But starting out, we have main person male. Main person female. Now I will say, in terms of directional cues, this is great because the man and the woman are facing each other. So if you're doing a relationship reading, this would be the ideal that you would want to see in a spread or layout, that they're facing each other. So that's good in terms of the directional cue. So that was main person male and main person female. Next we have the marriage card. Then we have meetings. Good gentleman. Good lady. So now here's where there may be a potential problem if you're reading with direction. The good lady and the good gentleman are facing in the same direction. So once I learned about directional cues, this would be problematic with this pair, only because there's no potential for them to be looking in this at each other. So that's good lady. Next we have pleasant letter. False person. Now false person is a card that Usually doesn't talk about a person. It usually talks about a situation that is wrong, bad, a mistake, something being hidden or concealed. So that's the first go-to before you make it about a person. It can be about a person, but 9 times out of 10, it's usually if it's closely connected to another person card in the deck. But in and of itself, it usually is not about a person. Okay. A change. A journey. Gaining a lot of money. Rich girl. And I'm going to leave rich girl like this for this reason. And then here we have rich good gentleman. Same thing. She's facing him in this scenario. And if I put the card over on this side, let's say, he would be facing her, but there's no way that they could be facing each other. So that's another problem with this deck in terms of a directional cue. And we have sad news. Success in love. His thoughts. Receiving a gift. So now what I like about the illustration in this particular case, one of the meanings of receiving a gift is that it can talk about parties, celebrations, holidays. So I like how the imagery fits with that aspect of the card. A little child. Bereavement. So this is the death card in the deck, also known as fatality. House. Living room. In some decks, this is also known as family room. Military person. Court. Theft. High honors. Great happiness. This is also known as great fortune or big luck. This is the best card in the deck, I should say, by the way. Unexpected money. Expectation. Prison. Court person. Short illness. Grief and adversity. Gloomy Thoughts. This is also known as Murky Thoughts. This is Work Occupation. A Long Way. And then the final card is Hope Big Water. And I didn't make mention of it, but these are the card backs. So you see there's a what looks to be like some kind of monkey holding a crystal ball. I like the image. And I like the purple. I'm a fan of purple. Is one of my favorite colors, so I like the purple in the background with the pattern. But those are the backs of the cards. And that is the Mystical Kipper as a whole. So I hope that you enjoyed seeing the very first deck that set me on the path of becoming a Kipper card reader. And in future videos, I will be sharing all the decks that I have in my Kipper collection. So this is James Himm Mitchell. Thanks for sharing this space with me, and I look forward to seeing you in a future video. Until then, hope you're having a great day, and take care.